Quick note, thanks for the 50 subscribers. This is only the beginning. Next up, 1 million. Okay, no, I'm kidding. For now, let's just aim for 100. Once we reach that, I'll do something quite useless you'll consider amazing. Last time on Moezz Experience. There is a subscribe button on the TV. See, it's right there next to the power button. Don't ask, just go watch part 1 of the trailer videos if you want to understand this one more. Hey, welcome to part 2 of my Sonic movie review. Here's what we discuss in each part, so without further ado, let's go! Starting with how Sonic affects our world. Does Sonic get back? And how? Short answer is no. Long answer is okay, so a road chase starts with Eggman tracking them, and then Sonic destroys his robot with only one hit, defying the logic of all the video games. Another robot comes out, and then even another robot comes out, and then even another mini robot comes out and explodes, and then Sonic faints. Oh, don't worry, Sonic doesn't die. They can't kill Sonic twice in the same movie. What is he, Krillin? Thomas Cat, wait no, Tom and Jerry, no.
Well, Tom, whose dentist calls him Tim.
Tom, whose dentist calls him Tim, then takes Sonic to the other human's house to recover. Oh, and as Sonic wakes up, he gets his iconic new shoes. Don't question it. If you wake up and find out that your shoes were replaced by Sonic's shoes, just don't question it. Just take the offer. Now I know you're wondering why his shoes look bad, but don't worry, this is Sonic Media. All the budget went to the music, which I would have shown except for copyrights. So here I am, helping things look better. I did what I could. I have no regrets. Next up, our trio, Sonic, Tom, whose dentist calls him Tim, and the other human then go to the top of the building there, and then poof, enter Jim Carrey. We already did that edit, we can't do it again. Sonic then pushes them off the building because that's the safe thing to do when you have two humans who can't protect themselves against a fleet of Eggman robots, and they have a meeting with what feels like a real Sonic fan who shows them Sonic. Good for you, man. I'm sure the writers worked really hard to get that reference. Sonic and Eggman then chase along multiple places like China and Egypt and Paris, only to end up back at Green Hill, the small town from the beginning of the movie. Sonic then attempts to go super, but then remembers it's not in the contract. So he does the alternative and cleans himself up. Like, look at this before and after. He just cleans himself up. That's not a superpower. Sonic, that's not, so you can't do that. You can't. Tom's doctor calls him Tim, then throws a ring into Mushroom Land, and Sonic and Eggman lock into each other like a bird seeing its reflection for the first time. So Sonic blasts him into the portal where Eggman tries to go super, but notices that he can't go super. So he does the next best thing and sacrifices his hair for power.
My grasp on sanity remains absolute.
Sorry man, that only works with Saitama. Also, Sonic is a pet now. They literally keep him in the attic. And then Tails comes out using a ring and he thinks he knows where Sonic is. Also, he knows who Sonic is without meeting him.
Little help?
Way to add more plot holes after the plot is done, Sega. It's like punching holes in Swiss cheese because it isn't cheesy enough. Is Swiss cheese because of the holes in it, or is it cheesy because it's Swiss and it? Now I know that some people will argue saying that it's only a kids movie, why does anybody even care? Why am I being caught up in it? Well, allow me to quote from one trusted online review, link in the description. Being perfectly honest, this movie isn't really for kids. It's for the parents who grew up playing Sonic and watching Jim Carrey in the movies. And knowing that there's a whole generation that's grown with this one character and its fan base, I find it pleasing to have a movie made out of it. Even more so that I am personally able to explain to you the goods and bads in it. That being said, let's dive into a bonus part, a plot alternative. Now here's an alternative to the plot. Sonic explores a good chunk of the planet and gets a few close calls with Eggman, which is how they meet in the first place. Then eventually Sonic hides in Green Hills and forgets about it. Dr. Eggman then closes in on him after a while, and when Sonic finds out, he panics, accidentally runs into a generic white guy. Sonic gets abducted, then tells him what's going on in order to escape, and just about Sonic is moving, Boom! Eggman is at the front door. White guy then volunteers to help, and along the way is where they build a connection. And the rest of the movie would be pretty much the same. As for the ending, instead of Sonic moving in with them, Sonic gets to keep the cave as a special resort for him, as long as he doesn't cause any electric outbreaks. The president, or whatever this guy is, approves of it and has Tom, whose dentist calls him Tim, takes care of Sonic, aka the city's electricity, so no more explosions happen. The end. See what I did there? I gave the characters more depth and made Sonic independent. What Sonic needed, even in the context of this movie, was freedom of publicity, right of speech, the ability to go wherever, whenever, and do whatever he wants, or as most fans would say, roll around at the speed of sound. Not having this was one way the movie flopped on its face. And speaking of flopping, what depreciates the movie? Sonic is slightly annoying at the beginning. It was hard to lay my finger on it, but later on I noticed it's because of the forced pop culture references. He feels like a kid who has to say everything he sees on the internet, which takes a toll on his supposedly independent character. Suddenly there's mood shifts. In the first 4 minutes we go over what seems like 5+ feelings. Adventure, cuteness, there's a motherly figure, there's action, there's fear, they're being haunted, and now Sonic is alienated in a different world. Oh hey, look, there's the title. All in less than 5 minutes. A good preview, a good opening should mostly carry out on a feeling or a couple of related feelings, then introduce the title, instead of throwing ideas at an audience. This also happens at the end of the car chase scenes. You don't barely get rid of an explosive last second, only to turn around and scream, "Nailed it!" as you high-five someone who's like 10 meters away. On another note, this bomb was planted by Eggman here because he wants to experiment on Sonic, find out his power or whatever. And it's a bomb. Last time I checked, all bombs do is... What the fuck? How are you gonna experiment on him if he's dead? And then no one feels unique with their role. Generic white guy, oh sorry, I mean Tom Holland. Oh wait, I mean Donut Lord. Oh no, sorry, Tom, his dentist calls him Tim. He's just there to help. And no, it doesn't have to be him. Giving him a title like Donut Lord and saying that he's a friendly cop in a small town, it isn't a character. It's complementary traits to give a character, but on its own it's not enough. Then there's the girl slash woman slash lady. She's only there to help in a couple of scenes and all in all to be supportive of the main crew. That's it. Complementary traits to give a character. Government guy is only there to talk for less than 5 minutes, drop some old jokes about pasta and say okay, nothing happened, bye. What if Sonic gets sad again and does something worse? Guess all you have to do is just... Again, complementary traits to give a character. Anyone could have been any person slash character in this movie, and it feels like they were highlighting the actors more than how to personify their characters. One thing any movie has to establish is why this specific person. The people in this movie, they aren't personified or characterized enough. Then hey look, here's Tails. Guess that means this movie must be successful and hence it must have a sequel. But why? Why would it be successful? How are they? Some problems aren't fixed. Some characters don't really grow. Actually, most characters don't feel like they are growing at all. What the movie connects to the audience is that Sonic's newfound power is that when he gets sad or happy, he controls electricity and slash or explodes. Through the irrelevant, unoriginal, my friends are my power cliche. Hey Sonic, if your friends are your power, how did you explode before you have any friends? But okay, I digress. Actually, I digress more than I should. In fact, Sonic is cute, we all know that about it by now, and the way Sonic, Eggman, and Tom's dentist calls him Tim interact in this movie, they have a decent back and forth struggle similar to the one I mentioned in the trailer earlier, heck, sometimes even similar to the games. The action scenes look great and smooth as enough, I can't imagine them with the original Sonic design, God forbid, no. The background music fits most scenes without having to rip off Sonic's glorious gaming music collection, and Sonic has a pretty decent character overall. The plot seems a bit off, but the animation, music, interactions, writing, generally, all feel solid and believable. If Sonic somehow ended up on our world from a young age with no one to take care of him, then that would be what happened. Sonic would evolve into this young kid who has to reference things from the internet, sadly. This movie, even if it doesn't portray it at best, make no mistake, it does portray Sonic on an adventure against the atrocious Eggman. However, if I were to highlight it all in one scene, it would be describing the movie in one scene. There's Sonic, then there's the turtle. Sonic sees the turtle, Sonic carries the turtle, he enjoys it for a bit, then places down that turtle, never see it again. That turtle being any logic, character, or most the things that need to make sense in the movie. Expand that idea again. Expand it until it reaches plot holes and how Sonic knew power and how his speed gets to work. We do enjoy it, but when you question things a lot, you end up like this confused little turtle shaking on the side of the road, not even knowing what the heck have you spent your last 2 hours on. You end up with a couple of plot holes. It is enjoyable and I do recommend you to watch it if you're into that sort of stuff or curious enough to spend an hour or two into it. Now let me ask you this. What's the best thing about the Sonic franchise? Stories? Nah, not always. Levels and game design? Yeah, sometimes. But what sets Sonic out of every other gaming franchise is that whenever they introduce a new character, they evolve magnificently. The characters learn, they gain confidence, they make life or death mistakes, then struggle to fix it and need cooperation. Even one of the worst Sonic games give their characters meaningful interactions. So how come this movie lacks such substance? I entered waiting for these characters to develop, but ended up getting more internet memes and semi-wholesome moments mixed into a rushed plot. However, to end on a positive note, I really enjoyed this movie. The animation was great and sometimes cute and simple was what a person needed sometimes, even if it comes at a cost. Right now, Sonic is a big confused pile of different characters that each keep inspiring each other, like how Spider-Man learns from other Spider-Man. As in how Spider-Man evolves, but only backward. In other words, it's evolving, but only backward. And that was my experience. Hey, thanks for making it this far into the video. If you'd like to support me, consider donating to my Patreon where you'll get exclusive content or get to watch other videos. That's all from me, and thank you.